So, when I ask, what is Odoo? What comes to mind? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But some people also say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. I mean, whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, I guess Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it. Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making millions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/hidden. Protect yourself now at aura.com/hidden.
Over the last few years, you've heard me talk about Crow and Wolf Brewing Company quite a bit. We've even had them on the show a few times. Truth is, given how busy I am with 2 jobs, a busy family, not to mention the recent move to a new home, I'm not able to make it out nearly as often as I'd like, and seeing as Crow and Wolf is less than 2 miles from my new place, when I do make it out, that's usually where I'm going. Now, as convenient as my proximity to the brewery is, that's not the only reason I love Crow and Wolf. This is the Brülosophy podcast. I'm your host, Marshall Schott, and for this episode, we're going to be going live from Crow and Wolf Brewing Company's 5th anniversary party. We'll definitely be getting into more history and such once we're live at the brewery, where I'm sitting right now, prior to the start of the actual chat. But I just wanted to say up front that yes, these guys are my friends, and some of them have been for over a decade before Crow and Wolf was ever even an idea. I say that with the point of acknowledging my inescapable bias. Despite how hard I might try, I just cannot fully suspend. But my hope is that all of you trust me enough to accept that I'm not joking when I say they make some of the best beer and seltzers I have ever had. And I've had a lot of beer and seltzer in my day. Their head brewer, Brad Gaines, is one of the guys I've known for a long time, and he's one of the most obsessively dedicated brewers I have ever met. Just absolutely married to the craft, and he's a part of a team, more like a family, that completely supports and even encourages his wild ideas. I'm so excited to be here to give Crow and Wolf the love they deserve. Like I said, we're going to be getting into their history, talking about their business model, how they've dealt with the recent downturn in the industry, and we'll also be sampling some of their incredible adult beverages. Secret, I've already been sampling a few that were made specifically for this anniversary party. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really stoked that we get to bring you all along as virtual guests to the 5th anniversary of Crow and Wolf's opening. Now, just a word of caution, this is going to be an episode with a cast of characters who are drinking alcohol, and I'm not going to spend hours editing, so I apologize now for any potential mistakes that we might make, or the overuse of certain language that some might choose to be offended by. All right, if you appreciate what it is that we do here at Brülosophy, please consider becoming a patron. Who are the people who make a small monthly pledge in return for something a little extra as a way for us to say thanks? Access to unpublished contributor recipes, invites to monthly live brew days with a Brülosophy contributor, and special perks from Yakima Valley Hops. I know I bring this up a lot, and I'm sure plenty of you are skipping through this section now, but if you happen to be hearing this, please understand that they are the reason we're here today. So please consider becoming a patron today over at patreon.com/Brülosophy. Another way you can help us out is by using the links found at Brülosophy.com/support. We are affiliated with most of the places people buy brewing stuff online, including Amazon, More Beer, and Great Fermentations. When you use those links, which you can also bookmark for future use, we get a small commission that helps us to cover production costs. And finally, if you wouldn't mind letting us know what you think about this show by leaving a rating and review in Apple Podcast or wherever it is you listen to podcasts that allows you to leave a review, we'd appreciate that as well. Feedback is brought to you by Clawhammer Supply, who are known for their incredible all-in-one electric brewing systems. I've brewed on both their 120 and 240-volt systems, and I'm telling you, these things are awesome, efficient, easy to use with a relatively small footprint. You will not be disappointed with one of these units. Plus, the guys behind the company run an amazing YouTube channel, which you can find by searching YouTube for Clawhammer Supply. If you're in the market for electric brewing gear, make sure to check out what Clawhammer Supply has to offer at clawhammersupply.com. And don't forget to let them know Brülosophy sent you when you're checking out. That's clawhammersupply.com. Listener Jean-Raphael Lavoie wrote in with some feedback I thought was pretty interesting. He said, "Hi, Capitan. I was messing around with AI, asking brewing-related questions, and some Brülosophy experiments are cited as reference to prove a point AI is making. I'm not surprised to see that because the method of your experiments are well done, but I thought it was pretty cool, and it shows that your contribution to the brewing world will have a lasting impact. Cheers from Canada." So this is not the first time I've heard this, though it is the first email I've received specifically about the occurrence of Brülosophy being cited in AI responses. Sure enough, when I asked if higher mash temperature leads to sweeter beer, I think I asked Google's built-in AI. It didn't just link to Brülosophy.com. It overtly mentioned Brülosophy results, which I think is kind of neat. Is that a good thing? Well, I don't think it's a bad thing, though I would like to gently offer that using our data to prove anything, I don't think that's the good idea, and I don't feel like AI did that. Rather, it did reference it in a fairly equivocal way that I feel actually fits with our ethos pretty well. Now, just because AI is referencing us does not offer any further validation, I guess, to our findings, despite feeling like it might because it's the internet. So that is just how AI works. We have a ton of brewing-related information on the web, so it doesn't surprise me that AI picks it up when scouring for responses. Still, it's pretty cool, I admit, and I appreciate you reaching out to let us know that you noticed that as well, Jean-Raphael. If you have show feedback, you can send it to feedback@Brülosophy.com or drop us a note on social media. The season is changing, and I'm sure that means most people are in need of new duds, right? Well, we are here to help you out by offering some fresh merch, whether you're after wearables like t-shirts, hoodies, and hats, or other stuff like tote bags and phone cases. We've got a ton of cool Brülosophy branded merch available nowadays, which you can find at Brülosophy.com/shop. Then just click on a product image. It'll take you to our Dashery store, or you can go straight there at Brülosophy.dashery.com. We've dropped a link in the description of this episode. When we come back, we'll be chatting with the guys behind Crow and Wolf live from the brewery for their 5th anniversary party.
When I need to impress someone with a gift, I go straight to 1-800-Flowers. There's a reason they've spent 50 years as the floral authority. Every stem is hand-selected by a vetted florist, and with same-day delivery nationwide, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. That's why millions go to 1-800-Flowers to celebrate life's most important moments. Order now for up to 40% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Act now and save up to 40% at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Shipping, billing, admin, payroll, marketing. You're managing all the things. So why waste time sending important documents the old-fashioned way? Mail and ship when you want, how you want with Stamps.com. Print postage on demand 24/7 and schedule pickups from your office or home. Save up to 90% with automated rate shopping. That's why over 1 million small businesses trust Stamps.com. Go to Stamps.com and use code PODCAST to try Stamps.com risk-free for 60 days.
Stop guessing and start perfecting your craft with Brewfather, the ultimate tool for recipe design. Brewfather Premium unlocks advanced inventory tracking, tilt integration for real-time fermentation monitoring, and seamless cloud sync across all of your devices. But wait, there's more. Premium Plus just changed the game with Brewfather's brand new AI recipe integration. Whether you're looking to clone a rare commercial classic or need a creative spark for a unique grain bill, Brewfather AI helps you build balanced, world-class recipes in seconds. Brewing is a science. Make it art with Brewfather Premium Plus by visiting brewfather.app today. That's brewfather.app. Better beer is just a click away.
So, when I ask, what is Odoo? What comes to mind? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But some people also say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. I mean, whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, I guess Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it. Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Welcome, everybody, to Crow & Wolf Brewing Company, where we're all celebrating the 5th anniversary of your guys' opening. It feels like it was just yesterday that we were all kicking it in the empty brewery, envisioning how things were going to be in 5 years, and here we are now. It's pretty fucking awesome, if you ask me. Now, there are going to be a few people rotating on and off mic. We'll figure it out as we go, fellas. And I'll introduce each one as we go. Before we get into the thick of it, though, just a few notes on how this is going to work out today. We're going to be recording live in front of an audience. I imagine an ebbing and flowing in size audience. And in order to keep them engaged, we're going to allow them to ask questions if they have questions. If not, that's okay as well. There's a mic up front, so anybody who has a question for the owners, the brewer, or me, you feel free to come on up and ask. I can answer your technical audio questions. And we may come up with some other fun stuff as well. All right. Who out there who's listening right now is super stoked to be here celebrating the 5th anniversary of Crow & Wolf? There are hands. Yeah, that's right. Woo! All right. Joining me right now to the left of me on the stage, we're going to start first off with the history and the kind of business side, the stuff that's really going to entertain the folks. But I figured more people, as they drink more, we could get into the beer stuff, which is a little more fun. So joining me on stage right now are Don Anderson and Mike Gangosian, two of the owners of Crow & Wolf Brewing Company. Thank you guys so much for having me out today. This has already been a great time.
Thank you, Marshall. This is awesome.
Always a good time when Marshall's here.
Which is quite a bit, actually. Yeah, don't forget to speak into the mic. I know it's annoying, but you got to get up on it. So what we're going to start with, I have some loose questions, things that I already kind of know the answer to, but that I think our listeners and that people out there might like to know. But before we get into the question and answer, I was hoping that the two of you, or the five of you if you want, could just speak a little bit to the history of Crow & Wolf Brewing Company, how it came to fruition, even at the years before the idea even struck you. What was guiding you towards ultimately what became of Crow & Wolf?
Oof, man, going back into 2018, 2019, some of us were home brewers, some of us were commercial brewers, some of us were not brewers at all. A lot of discussion around making good product and how to bring it to the valley, and at some point we said, you got to shit or get off the pot, right? So put a business plan together, end of 2019, and basically it ran from there. We were a little bit unlucky. Right after we signed the lease on all of our stuff, we had COVID, right? So Gavin Newsom shut the state down very shortly after we signed our names on the dotted line. But we were in a geography where everything made sense, and we were able to still serve, most of what we needed to do, and it kind of grew from there.
So I have to go a little personal because I met you well before I met these, but it was through Matt Human, another one of the owners, that I met you because he had moved up to the neighborhood that you both moved into at the same time. Were you brewing prior to meeting Matt, or did he introduce you to the whole?
No, Matt infected me. I used to walk by his house and I could smell it coming out of the garage, and eventually we connected, and I ended up learning from him and ended up buying some of his equipment, and pretty soon we were brewing in a couple of different spots, and it kind of grew from there.
So I have to imagine, though, at some point, one of the two of you is like, you want to go pro? I mean, it's a talk a lot of people have, right?
Oh, so It's actually my wife. She was, every time Matt would come over, she would needle him. Matt, this is really good stuff. You should do it commercially. And he's like, no, when you go pro, then it's not fun anymore. It's a business. And I think Matt fought that fight for a while, and I think eventually we wore him down to some extent.
Get on the mic, Matt. So Matt and I go back the furthest. We have some funny ass stories, boy. We'll save them for a different time. But
yeah, exactly. No, Don hit it. So Lou said, yeah, why don't you make good beer? You should open your place or whatever, downtown Friant or some crazy place like that.
And you're like, everybody's told me this since I started brewing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. But it's going to be a job and it's going to get boring. But yeah, we came up with a different solution and it's been fantastic.
I think Matt was ultimately afraid if he jumped in with both feet, he would end up not liking it and it would be more of a chore.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more conservative when it comes to the kind of output that something like this would take. My vision would be, out of the garage or pick up some industrial 500 square foot place and make beer and move on. But so the scale is dramatically different.
Yeah, well, and here's anybody who's listened to this show, like 4 episodes of it, has heard me say how little interest I have in starting it. And you guys were around during times when, I don't want to get into too much detail, but when there was talk about me being involved in something, and I just never wanted to do it. Like not my thing. But I feel like the way Crow and Wolf did it was pretty unique, and maybe there are other breweries out there who followed a similar model. But I'm, you guys have several owners. Most of the breweries that I'm familiar with have like an owner, and then they hire people. So I want to hear a little bit more about what the idea was behind that. I mean, Mike, you're one of the owners. You got Adam, you got Brad down here as the brewer. What was the idea behind that, and was there like some impetus other than spreading the financial load?
It was basically skill set and expertise, right? So you bring in people that can do things really, really well. Adam's the money guy. Mike's got a huge operational planning background, and it's basically bringing people that you can kind of huddle up with and go to war with. That'll execute. Ownership pool's a little bit bigger than most places, but I think we also kind of thrive on that mixed expertise model because everybody here does something that's vitally important, and we do it really well.
Yeah.
I think one of the keys also is the fact that we all have, for lack of a better term, day jobs, with the exception of our mad scientist Brad, right? So it helped us to make decisions that were easier to make because our quote-unquote livelihood didn't depend on it as much. So we were able to take some more risks from that regard, and it's worked out. It's worked out really well. I didn't really know these guys when I jumped in. I met Don mountain biking.
Oh.
And he and I struck up a friendship, and then he threw this out there at me. Next thing you know, we are where we are, and he called me and said, hey, looking at this spot in Clovis, et cetera, and the proximity with where we are relative to the trail, which is a big biking trail, hiking, walking trail, and it was a bit of a donut hole. Right, the location itself was kind of. There were places that were around downtown Fresno, etc., but there wasn't anything really out here that was worth making a destination spot.
Yeah, I remember when I first started hearing rumblings of a brewery that was going to come together. Matt and I have been friends for 15, 16 years now, close to at least. Brad and I right there behind, and because the three of us met in the actual homebrewing community. But I remember thinking, well, what are they going to do different? Because you hear a brewery starting and you're like, it's just going to be the same damn thing again. And which is fine if they make good beer, but you start to think the market's saturated. We all talked about this, 4 or 5 years ago when you guys first opened up. How are you going to cope with market saturation and all of that kind of stuff? How did you get involved, Adam? I didn't realize that Mike and Don had met relatively soon before Crow and Wolf became a thing. I thought you guys went way back.
No, really it was Don kind of brought me in. I'd been working with Don for a while on financial items, and he kind of reached out, said, you run all my financial stuff as it is. There's this opportunity that we're looking into. He introduced me to the other guys. I started noting Matt shortly after Don, and then he introduced me to Brad, and I got to start enjoying his amazing beverages. And I had met Mike quite a few times through different Fresno State gatherings and different stuff there. And ultimately, I mean, if you get invited to a brewery, how the heck, it's kind of, as you're sitting there, you're just like, oh, I'd love to do this, But it was one of those, like, let's see a business plan. What do we have going on? And he showed me something. He showed me something that I could sell to my wife, and she believed it. And it turned out well, 5 years. But those first 6-7 months were
terrifying.
Were wild, right?
Yeah.
We got delayed multiple times trying to open. Like you mentioned, with the state shutting down, you can't do anything, and you've invested, you've committed to different loans, and you're just praying that something hits eventually.
Yeah.
And
I think the phone call was, hey, Adam, we got this idea. And he kind of looked at me funny, and I said, no, follow me on this one. And after about 5 minutes, I think he kind of got a gist of what we were saying. And from there, it was pretty self-evident at that point.
It sounds like you did the classic, well, let me see what my wife thinks first.
Well, yeah. It's because, as I was like, I would love to just say yes. My wife's my partner. So
that's right.
If she's not, if she's not going to be supportive, why would I want to jump into something?
Yeah, we had that same conversation. I think we all did with our wives. Just hey, we're thinking about doing this, and for me personally, at that time, I had a job change. I was about to send my daughter to New York in the middle of before the pandemic started. Sure, why not? Just talk about caution of the wind. And we basically, part of the conversation was it was a simple simple statement, which was, if we don't do this, we will forever regret it. If we do it and we stomp on our own, then okay, at least we gave it a shot, right? At least we gave it a shot.
Yeah, even with Brülosophy stuff, the number of times I've had to go to my wife, who's also an accountant, so she's the money side of Brülosophy, at least managing it. She's not paying us or anything. But you go to them and it's not. I hate the trope of like, oh, you got to get their approval. No, they're your partner, and so that's a big part of it as well. And the fact that there's 5 people standing in front of me right now who have partners who are like, yeah, go ahead and do it. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because if they're not supporting behind us, we're, those long nights become longer.
Yeah.
And, and then bitterness can arise.
Amen.
So
well, there's a little sounding board in that, right, too, because, like, we're all obviously beer geeks, but they are not necessarily. So if you bring an idea and they're like, yeah, it's all right, that's different, because we're all like, let's do it because we love it.
That's right. And we're going to make the best out there, right?
Yeah, more level-headeds prevail.
Yeah. So, Brad, you're standing in the on the outside. We're going to, the whole next segment, I've already got planned to just have Brad on the mic, Brad and whoever wants to talk about the beery side of this, and more than just beer, in fact. But tell us how, on the side of building Crow & Wolf, how you got involved with this whole gig.
I don't remember what it was, but it was just me and Don. Oh, hello.
There it is.
There we go.
Bueller.
Yeah, I knew Matt and I knew Don just from home brewing previously, and me and Don just kind of got together one day and started chatting. I was, that we wanted to start a brewery.
Is that where the spark was between the two of you?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm learning stuff today. It's great. Yeah.
But that's just kind of how it went, and then it kind of snowballed into, bringing in a whole team and just kind of get everybody on the same page, and everybody has their strengths, and it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it sure has worked out perfectly. I mean, there's still more history stuff I want to get to, but you just look out here right now and the number of people that are here. I can't imagine. And this is not just because it's your 5th anniversary. We come here every weekend and it's like this, It's wild to me. So whatever you're doing, we'll talk about that in a minute. I've always wondered. So, the brewery name's Crow & Wolf. There's some, people go into building businesses in general with some sort of idea what the theme is going to be, or how they're going to be unique, what they're going to offer. It doesn't have to do with just the name. I know that, names sometimes just come to you. But what was your guys' idea going in? How did you, when you all got together and you're like, we're going to do this shit, let's do it right. How's that going to look? And how is it going to be different than what other people are currently doing? Hit it, Matt.
I think, to sum it up in one liner, we don't do things half-assed. So, go big or go home. All of us love beer. We've gone to cities that have great beer scenes, such as San Diego, and seen breweries that do an excellent job of creating a family-friendly environment that is bring your dog. It's Saturday, great weather. You know, you got the kids with you, ride your bike there, etc. We wanted to emulate that scene, and I think we did a pretty good job.
Matt's right. We spent a lot of time traveling. We went to other cities, San Diego, St. Pete's, Florida. We checked out a lot of places to see what was working there and tried to bring in different elements from different places to create, a well-rounded experience.
Anybody who listened to the episode where we had you guys on, I think it was 4.5 years ago, may recall that we were talking about the amount of money that you spent right off the bat. It was never going to be a nano brewery, right? It was always going to be, like you said, Matt, go big or go home. And the idea was, let's just hit it hard and make a lot and really do this thing. Give us a little bit of an idea behind the thinking, or thinking behind that.
Well, originally we were seeking out a 15-barrel system, and we happened to run into a used 20-barrel for, rough. Anyways, it worked out. So we ended up with a 20. And again, hindsight 2020, if we could have had a 30, maybe that's be better. But whatever, we have what we have. We make it work. What was the question, though?
That was it.
Well, part of that response.
You'd think we were drinking or something.
Part of that response is we'd seen, friends of ours that are also in the industry start on a 5, and then they're buying a 10, and then they're buying a 15. And so that's always in one side of your brain, and the other side of the brain is watching what Brad puts out and knowing that it's going to dominate the market. So how do you combine both of those into what is an efficient and well-sized system?
Interestingly, we first of all, Brad, my wife said, "Oh, Brad is the brewer at this place. Those are my favorite beers we're in." That was one of the topics. And then as soon as we had all of the other flavors that we hadn't had that Brad had brewed, it was a no-brainer from that regard. And that's when we realized that, hey, I think we have something special here. With regard to the size, when Don called me and said, "I think I have a spot, but it's maybe bigger, maybe a little bigger than we had anticipated that we wanted." And I said, okay, and luckily it's only a few miles from my house, and I came over here and I said, "Oh, dude, this place is huge. It's 15,000 square feet. We were looking for anywhere 500 to 7,500, and but it really was an if you build it, they will come, and we didn't know that at the time. Trust me, we were all very concerned, especially in the middle of COVID, etc. Now, when I did the pro forma statements on our prediction, because like you said, we didn't want to do a nano brewery, right? So we were built for distribution from day one. Okay, so we started, and I did that pro forma statement, and I had 70% distribution and 30% in-house. As soon as we opened, literally to the percentage point, that was absolutely flipped to 70% in-house, 30% distribution. And at the time we started self-distro. And we couldn't meet that distro demand because our tap room, luckily, was very, very successful.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
From the day of opening, the tap room had lines out the door, and people, that didn't annoy people enough to not come back.
Right.
Which is a good sign, right? Good job, Brad, wherever you went. But carry on. I just wanted to chime in. So if anybody wants to reach out and ask me for advice and ask questions, I'll be more than happy to give it. But please, whatever it is that I say, flip it exactly the opposite, and you will be successful. We'll talk after this. Yeah, it's been a phenomenal thing to observe from the outside. Quasi inside, just because we're friends, but yeah, just a cool story and such a unique approach to starting a brewery. Now, one of the things I think a lot of people are wondering, and we've talked about bringing you guys back on the show in the future and to talk about how things are different. So here we are now. We're just going to do it. It's no secret that craft beer in general has shit the bed. I mean, it is going down. It's tanking, or at least it's gone way down from where it was. Probably when the idea for this brewery first came to be. But every day I show up here, every time I'm here, even if it's at 4:30 in the morning to watch hockey with Matt, there's an owner here, one, kicking it with people, hanging out, just being a patron, and other people. Like, it's not the same at every other brewery. I'm curious, one, how, first off, you guys have dealt with, if you're comfortable talking about it, dealt with this hit that's going on right now. But, just from the outside, it's clearly not hurting you guys as bad as maybe others. And I'm curious what you think the secret sauce is.
I think most of that, on your second question, most of that is Brad, right? Brad is constantly innovating. He's constantly bringing new, both beer and seltzers to market. I mean, we dropped 4 new products today, right? So I think keeping the menu moving helps a lot with our taproom sales. But the overall quality, right? The whole portfolio has a quality statement behind it that very few people in our area are able to match at this point. And that I think is the biggest theme behind what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I think
it's all your fault, Brad.
Yeah, it's all Brad's fault.
So
good job.
You're right. You're right in that there's definitely a shakeout in the alcohol industry, especially around the craft area, and we've lost. The latest stats were more that have closed than have opened over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And so, but you have to stay nimble. You have to follow the trends right now, right? So, Brad was able to essentially make a market, quite honestly, with our seltzers. They're not White Claws. They're not. Sorry, I don't know if you can say that. They're not White Claws. They're not.
You could say it. It's not Truly.
They're not Trulies. They are very unique, and so he created a market, and that has gone really, really well. We've seen it. I mean, excuse me. We follow those. We look at our sales. We look at our sales in-house. We look at our sales out-of-house, all of the above. And there's no doubt. Now, it has stabilized. I can tell you it has stabilized. And I believe that craft is, now that there's enough shakeout that has taken place, I think that craft is going to be a little more flat than downward trend over the next year.
Yeah. I've already heard from others that's what they're seeing. I can tell you from our stats, our numbers, that's kind of what we're seeing as well. Brad, I have a question for you. We're going to talk about the more beer/seltzer, the beverage part of this in the next segment. But when you hear everybody talking about kind of putting the responsibility on you in a good way for the success of Crow and Wolf in terms of what people are actually consuming, what are your thoughts about that? And did you have some sort of a nugget of an idea that things had to go a different? Because I feel like you guys hit it at a time. Obviously, we're talking about seltzer and the uniqueness of that. Don't get into that yet. I got to have content for the next section. But did you sense something was coming, or how did you know to go that route?
I don't know. Probably not. I didn't think it was going to grow into what it is right now.
You just got lucky? You feel like you just got lucky?
No,
or?
That's just, my thinking,
Okay.
Going into this, I just wanted to make good beer. That was it. Seltzer was really never kind of a plan.
Okay.
We talked about it a little bit, but we didn't think it would become what it is. But no, I had normal expectations. I'd been doing it for, I think at that point it was like 7 or 8 years. So I've been doing it for a little bit, but when I saw the building here, I was like, that's a big building, and that tap room, that's a lot of seats to fill up. Even if you're, busy, that's still a lot of seats to fill up. And I remember in some of the meetings we were talking about, and they're breaking it down. I don't remember if it was Mike or Adam, but like, okay, in order to stay afloat, we need to sell X amount of pints per hour. And I'm like, holy, how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that?
How many pints?
Well,
I want to say it was
back then. It was.
Yeah, we tried to. I tried to bring it down by brand mistake, but it was about 100 per hour per brand is what kind of depending upon the brand. But yeah, and that's you got to remember that there's no distributor in the middle of that, right? So even at that margin, it's still to make the nut on the rent and everything else, and it was a lot.
But Brad's right.
There's a little bit of pressure.
A little bit, yeah.
But yeah, and then mid-COVID, and we're sitting here going, well, what if things don't open back up? So we had to pivot, find a canning line, something that would fit into the budget. So we got a little single head Wild Goose that did I think 8 cans a minute. So it was very, very manual, very slow. but we were kind of prepared for whatever. I mean, I remember our first couple weekends, we were just filling crowlers and slinging them out the door because we couldn't do pints yet. But yeah, it was a little stressful. But no, I didn't expect for it to turn into what it has. These guys probably did. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have invested into me and this whole project. But they had the vision. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't go into it thinking this is what it was going to be, because I mean, it was a little stress is all right.
Well, there was never an anticipation to make seltzers, right? That was after we started
Really?
actually seeing an audience, because what we realized is that if a couple comes in, right, the odds are half of that couple, one of those people doesn't really love beer. And so their time spent here is got an expiration date on it. If you've got other non-beer products, you're likely going to keep them here longer. People here longer means there's more sales, right? So bringing in seltzer, bringing in wine, having more options for people that aren't beer-based, I think was a huge step forward. And we learned that within the first probably 6-7 months.
Yeah. So my wife doesn't like beer. And
Either does mine. Imagine that.
So, anyways, I had the, and then also, my dad really doesn't drink too much beer anymore. So I was like, we need to open up seltzer ciders to offer another option as well as NA products, just to think about the dude on the couch. Hey, you want to go to the brewery? No, not really. They don't have anything I like. How about we make something that everybody likes? You can find something you like.
Yeah.
So, and then one other caveat, I can expand on this in the next segment, but it was supposed to be Don and I that were in charge of the seltzer cider program to begin with.
Bad idea.
That didn't happen.
Essentially, that did not go very well.
Such a bad idea.
And Brad's humility was probably just like, yeah, man, that's a great idea. And here he is like Mr. Seltzer. No, that's not an offensive thing. You are Mr. Seltzer.
None taken.
It's amazing what you do with water. I mean, I guess you could say that about beer as well. But did you have a question, man? Anybody? Yeah? Okay. Mic is open. Just get behind Brad. Yeah, it's phenomenal to see. I remember when, you guys were first telling me, like, hey, we just put a down payment on this place or whatever it was. Come hang out. We're gonna have people out there, and we're gonna do a beer share. Remember we were doing beer shares, to use the damn building, basically. And we came out, and I was like, this is fucking huge. Wow. There was no wall here yet, remember?
Nope.
And you're like, this is the plan here. And then watching it come together piecemeal was such a cool, for a guy like me, like to see the development of this vision of yours come to fruition. And we're here 5 years later, a mere 5 years, and it feels like it's been here for 20.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good sign.
And we were out of space by year 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, the 15,000 square feet was gone.
Well, and you guys
36
expanded,
months.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it was interesting in the beginning, like they were saying, this place is huge, right? And I remember, I think we probably all had the same experience when we tried to describe it to our friends what we were doing, and they had that glazed look like, oh man, that sounds cool. And at the same time, they're thinking, not a fucking chance this
That's
place
right.
is going to make it. Honest to God, I mean, really. I mean,
You guys
the
are
size of this
dumb.
thing is, it really, really was like, wow, I wish them the best, but they don't got a prayer.
And then how many, I can tell you, like, friends that would come into town and be like, oh, I want to check out your little beer place. And then they come see it, and they're like, oh, this isn't a little beer
Your
place.
slightly large beer place, yeah. It's amazing, man. All right, couple more questions before we get to, we had to take a commercial break. When I started Brülosophy, I never thought it was going to turn into a business. I kind of had an idea it might, but I never thought it would be what it eventually became. And now we're dealing with all of the what you guys have been dealing with as well. But my experience is far different than sitting down and writing a business plan and looking for investors and all of that. Part of the planning process is, where do I envision this is going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, right? We're here at 5 years. Is it exactly what you envisioned it would be?
No, it's probably 400 or 500% more than we thought it would be.
Oh.
I mean, we were literally we were trying to break even, right? That first year, how quickly can we get in the black?
Right.
And that happened, I think, faster than we thought it would, right? I think we're probably twice as big as we expected to be at the 5-year mark based on our output right now. Brad, what was our barrelage for 2025?
right around 6,000.
6,000 barrels,
about
right?
6,000.
Yeah. I don't think we anticipated being at 6,000 barrels by the end of the 5th year, or the beginning of the 5th year.
Yeah.
And I already know his projections for next year are going to be, that much again. So,
Yeah.
At least 6,000 or more, or another 6,000.
Oh, for next year? Oh yeah, plenty more. Plenty more.
So that's what I'm talking about, though. You got this industry that is getting hit hard, and yet this brewery that started at, let's be honest, probably not the most opportune time to start. Is still growing. That's a flip flop of what we're seeing everywhere else. And maybe there are other breweries out there that are a similar story. I haven't heard from or of them. So
yeah, we're definitely very blessed and from that regard, but it really starts with the product, and the product is that master magician. It really is, and without that product, you can create the greatest spot on the planet, but if your beer blows ass, people aren't coming back. They'll come one time and they're done. He makes just every style that he makes is on point.
And it's product and packaging, right? We got an amazing graphic designer.
Oh, come on.
Everything we put
ever,
out into retail is I mean, we have high expectations, right? So we don't put anything out that we don't thoroughly love and enjoy. The product, the packaging, everything is falling into sync at this point.
So Brad, we know people who have worked for breweries as brewers who weren't given the freedom to really produce. How has it felt, my friend, to be in a brewery that does give you that freedom? Because it sounds like you can do whatever the hell you want, and every time you do, they're like, "Holy shit, he did it again!"
It's definitely nice to have that trust. There was a long time I couldn't brew what I wanted to. So I was home brewing a lot. There was a lot of stuff I was doing there, but I wasn't given that creative freedom. And then I think once I did get that creative freedom, which was a little bit before we started this, the guys got to see what I could do. But it's nice. Just to have an idea on a whim, on a Saturday night, you might go have a cocktail and you're like, hey, what if we could make something like this? And then just to be able to turn it into something new, something different.
That makes money. That makes money. Let's be honest. It's crazy.
The creative part of it, it's a nice itch to scratch.
Do you feel like you're still, you hear a lot of people, in psychology we call it the overjustification hypothesis. You love doing something, so you start making money doing it, now you fucking hate doing it,
Yeah.
Do you feel like you still are an artist? Like you get to come, because we've talked on this show, and you hear it around the beer world a lot, art, science, and the melding of both, right? You can't have beer without either of those. Or good beer, or seltzers, I'm sorry. Yeah. Do you feel like you are more an artist or a scientist, or do you feel like you're kind of a combo of both?
A little bit of both. Getting the brand where it is, there's a lot more roles to take on versus just being an artist. It's not like it was day one, where the goal is to create. We've got employees down the back of the house that are brewing and canning and packaging and washing kegs, and so you've kind of got to branch out a little bit to managing those type of things, ordering, but at the same time you still have to have that spark to create things. And so there are different sides of my brain, that I've got to move into, and I can't do both at the same time. But it's a little bit of both, and that's just another challenge, and it's fun to kind of get over that challenge. But to do a little bit more of the business side, the ordering, the forecasting, the planning, seeing what trends are happening.
So you kind of get to dabble in all of it.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
That's got to be great.
Yeah.
Well, there's another big piece of this that Brad I think Brad has a very unique history with us. If Brad says, I need to buy $10,000 worth of this because it's going to turn into that, we don't even question it.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Most brewers in other breweries do not have that latitude.
No.
I want to buy these fermented grape skins from New Zealand because, and we're like, okay, but I got to buy $5,000 worth just to get some here. Oh, okay, do it.
Okay.
Because we know what he's going to do with it is going to sell. And that's a very unique trust that we have with Brad, and Brad knows that we're going to go with him.
Yeah, having that trust is huge. I've talked to other local brewers where they might have issues with the owners letting them order a fresh pitch. Like, hey, you didn't take this yeast out 15 gins. You can't order anything new. I've never once been,
we look at
question on anything I've ordered. But the trust goes both ways, Like I have to ensure that what I do with those ingredients is going to make a good final product, and I think at the end of the day they trust me to do that. So there's never been a question there.
Hey, some of the best days we have are Brad's R&D days.
Definitely appreciated.
You're like, hey, you got like an hour? I got a couple of flavor profiles I want to float by you.
Call me next time.
And I drive away absolutely floored at what he just showed us, which was better than the time before, which was already better than the time before that. So it's just this perpetual cycle of creativity that just really hits home.
And we give him he's obviously, as we just shared, he's got the latitude because the mad scientist needs to have that latitude. And then when it comes down to the retail part of it, whether it be retail or wholesale distribution, we'll look at the cost per barrel. Obviously, you want to be, from a business perspective, you want to be conscious of that. And there's been a couple times where I've gone, Brad, holy shit, that's expensive. And he'll go, yeah, the XYZ is expensive. And I'll go, okay. And we price it, and it sells. So it's never a matter of, hey man, this thing is way too expensive to make. That's never been the case, and he's always cost conscious about it. Obviously, a certain type of seltzer or certain type of beer is going to be significantly more expensive than another type.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think about with Brad is I know I'm not in his mind, but I understand a little bit, having known him for as long as I have, the way his brain works creatively, and it's been interesting to be able to like hang out and see over the last 5 years when you're in an environment that not only allows it, but I think encourages it. How an artist, because I view you as an artist. I mean, the stuff we haven't had one yet. Yeah, we haven't had one yet, but a peanut butter and jelly seltzer.
Dude, it's so good.
Is it on tap yet?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm shocked we're not drinking it now. I think I can almost certainly tell there's lucidity. And that's like a house IPA, right? That's the classic go-to
West Coast,
IPA.
yeah.
Phenomenal West Coast IPA, and perfectly clear, by the way. No gelatin. By the way, you're the guy who taught me about gelatin. So yeah, Brad, the guy who's been brewing for half as long as me, taught me stuff that I now sell as my own on Brülosophy. So there you go. Adam, I'm curious if maybe Brad has to answer this, but I've always wondered this. When a brewer makes a batch, a good brewer makes a batch, and they have to dump it. How many batches have you had to dump? Hold up a number. Do you know yet?
One?
Just two. See, Adam knows. That's why when he tells you, I got to dump it, dude, what's your thought? Are you just like, oh, no. That's money down the drain, right?
You see,
that's not what comes out of my mouth. I go, that sucks, and let's keep going. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, when Brad has to tell me that, I'm more going,
do you need a hug?
Well, are you okay? You know what went wrong? I mean, just at the end of the day, I think he feels more. He feels worse than I do, and yeah, that's money. But at the same time, I'm just thinking of a product that I wanted to taste, that I wanted to be, that we wanted to have in our tap room. So, like I said, it's been 2 over 5 years that I can think of offhand,
like a true artist.
Deletes it
Never
from his
happened.
mind if it hasn't happened.
It was definitely the last one was
exactly
one of those. Oh, it's about time. Come on. And I
what
know
was it? Tell me what it was.
And I knew
Come
he
on.
beat himself up over it more than anything in the world, so it just never even.
Was it
came
like
up.
a pickle cider or something like that? I can't even hear what he's saying.
He said,
oh yeah, that happens. See, that's easy. That's not even a fun story, Brad.
It's all out.
yeah, it's not.
I would see that would as a homebrew Brülosophy, we open ourselves up to dumping batches. That was kind of the impetus for starting it. It's like, I don't care if I screw a batch up. I want to learn something. So for us, but the few times, very few times that I felt like no one's going to drink this, doing it, I'm just like, this does suck. God, even just the waste of water. You're like, that is, for you guys, that's like thousands of gallons of water or whatever, right? You're like, oh my God. All right, we got to take a break, but I want to ask one more question that's completely has nothing to do with what we've been talking about. I don't know if it's talked about as much these days, because of the temperature of things and all of that, but You used to hear about destination breweries. Stone. I'm going to...
Oh, yeah.
Right? Russian River is another one. The East Coast ones, The Alchemist, stuff like that, right? Treehouse. You'd hear about these places that people will fly to have their beer. Clovis, not really a destination that people are like dying to come to. The weird thing is, millions of people a year drive right through this city to go where? To Yosemite, to Kings Canyon, to wherever it might be. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on the destination brew. I feel like this has all the bones to be a destination brewery. If you go to Santa Rosa, or even, I'm not going to say worse, even better, Windsor.
Yeah.
The reason you're there is either wine or Russian River Brewing Company.
Yeah.
This has that, in my opinion, and I'm not just kissing your ass.
It's the national brand, right? So you're naming off destination breweries who have national recognition for the products that they make and the longevity they have. And we're just at 5 years, right? So we're not on that national scale yet. Are the products there? Yeah, absolutely. Is the venue capable? Of course it is. We just need a little bit more exposure at a larger level for that kind of stuff to happen. The weird thing is, I travel a lot for work. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a plane, I've been laid over in Dallas, I've been laid over in Minneapolis. Somebody sees my Crow and Wolf shirt and they're either wearing one or they're like, dude, I had your beer, I had your seltzer, it's fantastic. Matt's in Ireland one day. The lady across the hall at his hotel, or Scotland.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Scotland is not in Ireland.
Was in Ireland, yes. That is correct. But what I'm saying is I was in Ireland shortly after we opened, and also I opened my door to leave the hotel room, and a lady is leaving across the way, and she is wearing a Crow and Wolf shirt. And I was like, oh,
the exposure
hey, I know
is
that place.
The exposure it's getting there though. We're becoming bigger and bigger and bigger each year, and that's what we hope for.
Yeah, that's why I brought this up at the end, because I felt like it was a great segue into a commercial. I'll be honest. If you are going to Yosemite National Park, what are some other? We're so used to being around all this stuff. Fresno is 45 minutes from the gate to Yosemite. It is an hour from Kings Canyon. Am I missing anything? It is 45 minutes from Shaver Lake, an hour from Huntington.
Yeah.
Beautiful places in California that a lot of people don't even think about when they're going there. You got to stop by. This is the place. Thank you, server.
And one of the beauties is, again, go back to location, right? So we are right off the freeway.
Right off the freeway.
Right off the freeway. And we really want those folks to come in that are headed up to those other destinations and to stop by here. We're not far off that beaten path at all. It's a 3-minute drive up Herndon Avenue for them to come off of 41, which is how you get to Yosemite, to come up here and have a drink, grab some to-goes, go up to the park, have a great time, all of that good stuff. So that's something that we're lucky with.
Yeah, and if you mention that, you heard about it on Brülosophy, you get all kinds of free shit, right?
All kinds of free shit. Tons of free shit.
Hugs and high fives.
Yep.
And I might even come out. Actually, Tim was so Tim is the bar manager?
Bar manager, Tim Red.
Amazing guy. He'll be out here in a bit. But he was telling me that he's had a few people come in and they're like, yeah, we heard about you on Brül, we stopped by. And it's, how about you call me and I'll come hang out as well? Not that anybody wants to hang with me, don't get me wrong. I just might come out anyways.
It's the mustache.
I think it's the mustache.
Don't threaten us with a
really
good time.
Well, man, I love what you guys are doing. That was it for the business side of things. When we come back from this break, which we've got to take a quick short break because some of us have to use the restroom, we're going to get more into the beer and seltzer side of things with Brad Gaines.
Underwear drawers are like the Wild West of wardrobes. You never know what pair you're going to pull out or what shape it's in. It's time to upgrade your underwear drawer with the buttery soft comfort of MeUndies. MeUndies' signature fabric is as soft as a warm hug from your favorite sweater. Plus, it's breathable and oh so comfy, making it ideal for all-day wear. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/comfort. Enter promo code COMFORT. That's MeUndies.com/comfort, code COMFORT.
There's no denying that stainless steel is the best material for brewing equipment, and Delta Brewing Systems offers some of the lowest prices on high-quality stainless gear, like the Firm Tank, which in addition to holding 8 gallons or 30 liters of wort, comes with a domed lid to even further reduce the chances of a messy blow-off. Plus, it can hold up to 4 psi of pressure for closed transfers. Delta Brewing Systems also has their own line of brew kettles, as well as one of the lowest-priced all-in-one electric brewing systems out there, and their prices are shockingly low. If you're in the market for legit stainless gear that won't break the bank, do yourself a favor and head over to deltabrewingsystems.com today.
Imagine you're a business owner relying on a dozen different software programs. Each one is expensive, overly complicated, and worst of all, none of them are connected. It can be incredibly stressful, right? Now, picture Odoo. CRM, accounting, inventory, manufacturing, marketing, HR, and more. Odoo brings all the tools your business needs into one simple platform, and all seamlessly connected. Everything works together, giving you the peace of mind that your business is running smoothly from every angle. Odoo's open source applications are user-friendly and designed to scale with your business, saving you time and money. Say goodbye to juggling multiple platforms and hello to efficient integrated management. Stop wasting resources on complicated systems and make the switch to Odoo today. Visit odoo.com, ODOO.com, and discover how Odoo can simplify and streamline your business operations. Odoo, modern management made simple.
So it must have been around 15 years ago or so. I was good friends with the leadership of our local homebrewing club, and they mentioned to me that this new member, and actually, Matt, you're sitting here with me, you were one of these members, that this new member shared a beer with them at a meeting or some event that I was unable to attend, and that this beer that they had was absolutely excellent. A few weeks later, I got word from another friend, his name is Paul, who used to be a Brülosopher, that he met a guy who had similar ideas as I did when it came to brewing, and our future goals as well were kind of similar. They diverged a bit at this point. And when I finally got around to meeting Brad Gaines, I realized these two stories were both about him, the same guy. It was also around that time that I helped judge a local competition where Brad ended up winning Best of Show. And correct me if I'm wrong, was it for a Belgian quad?
No, it was an American barley wine, but I think it won for Wee Heavy.
Exactly. Yeah.
You submitted it as a Wee Heavy, and that's what it was.
The bitterness just dropped off. So,
and I was lucky enough, I believe, to be on the final four judging. That was an amazing beer, but I'm lucky enough, anyways, to be joined on the stage now by Brad Gaines, whose voice you just heard, as well as Matt Human, who's probably of all of the Crow and Wolf people, my oldest friend of the Crow and Wolf crew. I met Don through you. I met Brad sort of through the club around the same time, though.
We've probably shared more embraces. Yes.
We've shared a bed, not in that way.
Yes.
Because we're cheap and didn't want to pay for extra rooms.
Correct. Clarification. Yes.
Matt, yeah. We have spent time everywhere from Baltimore and Minneapolis and Davis and Portland. So many different places. So this is going to be a fun time. What we're going to do now is kind of shift the focus away from the business stuff and onto what really matters, which is beer and other adult beverages. So now, Brad, you talked a little bit in the last segment, but I want to hear a little bit more about your foray into. I actually don't know how you got into brewing, home brewing in general. I want to hear a little bit more about your history when it comes to making alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, I can sum it up pretty quick. I was a big fan of double IPAs back then, and one day I had this idea. I was like, well, what if I can make this? And so it just kind of became a non-stop hobby. Luckily, I got tied in with the local homebrew club here. Got to meet people like Matt to my left, Marshall to my right. So also Aaron,
Sean, and all those guys.
All those guys. Yeah. And so they had years of experience when I was just starting out. And so I kind of got the fast track on what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, actually, Matt and I were just talking about this, so I don't want to steal it from you, Matt, but you had mistaken me for Brad, which is an odd thing to do. But Matt was like, yeah, you were the one who, and we've been friends for almost 2 decades. You're the one who brought the double IPA to it. And I was like, that wasn't me. I think that was Brad, who because you were into double IPA.
Yeah.
Had you had like a Pliny the Elder or something and that?
I was really big into Knee Deep.
Knee Deep. Yeah, good stuff.
Simtra that did it for me. But,
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. I should have corrected that because you probably want to open a lager brewery, as opposed to a double IPA brewery.
That would be me. Yes. Yeah. So there's a substantially higher amount of people out here in just 35 seconds, almost 2 minutes maybe, and we've grown. Every table's full, so it's a little louder. Speak a little closer to your mics, because I don't want anybody to struggle to turn their stuff up, and then an ad comes on and it blows their speakers out, type of deal. So Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about I know we talked a little bit in the last segment about your history with Crow and Wolf, but how about brewing in general?
Yeah, I moved to the Fresno-ish area. It was 2005, and I moved from Seattle, which I was just a consumer of craft beverages. And I moved here, and I shortly found out that there's not really much for craft beer in 2005. And I was like, where's the beer? And I found a friend, or I had a friend that did home brewing, like we're talking stovetop extract stuff in the kitchen. So I got together with him, started brewing, and I was like, oh, you can make your own beer. Maybe I make the flavors I actually want, make the beer I actually want. So I did that for a couple years, and just very sporadic. And then the pivotal moment was because I had ordered from Northern Brewer. So of course I got a flyer in the mail, and I'm perusing the flyer, and I was like, wait, hold on, there's these milk or recipe kits. I was like, why is it there's this all grain that's like cheaper than the extract one? It's like, what is this? And then just rabbit hole.
Yeah, man.
Went full bore, and that was the precipice. Yeah.
There were, I don't know, I'd say between 20, because Brülosophy got started in 2014. I met you guys, I think 2011, 2012-ish. So there was a good couple of years. And there was a group of 5 to 6 of us that were just absolute nerds. I mean, would you agree?
It was group chats going off at 10, 11, 12
I had to turn my notifications off on that specific thread because it was non-stop talk about beer, and it was so fun. It was so fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all 3 of us were a part of that.
Yes.
Along with some other friends of ours.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. Before we talk specifically about you and where you're at with this, let's talk a little bit about some of the drinks that we're drinking other stuff now. We've got a bevy of beverages, if you will, up on the table. But you made some special drinks for today.
Yeah. We 3-ish, 4 or 5, something like that.
Okay.
We've got 2 new seltzers. We have one that is passion fruit, orange, and guava called Maui Sunset. We also did another one that is PB&J inspired seltzer. Called
a PB&J seltzer. We'll talk about that later. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Then we have a West Coast double IPA. We have a raspberry mulberry mead that's 11.5% called Rapture. And then we also released one of our fruited sours. It's got peach and marshmallow called Peaches. Real original, I know. But we had that on draft before, but today is the first day we debuted it in cans. So
it's called Peaches. Yeah, we need to get Jack Black to sponsor that one.
We released it around the Mario movie. So yeah, it was Peaches. Now it's just Peaches.
It's just Peaches. Yeah.
Yeah.
I happened to have Rapture in the 2-minute break that we took. It's long. We took like a 20-minute break, but what an amazing mead. I don't even know if it's called a mead. A doctored mead or whatever,
I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. I'm not part of the mead world, and I don't know too much about meads, but
You made one. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And right before we pressed record on this segment of the podcast, we were talking to my wife. Brad and I were, And Laura goes, hey, see you guys later. She goes, Laura's like, this is so good. And I'm looking at it. It looked like a beer, and I thought she was drinking. And we were talking about how Pog looks like a beer, right?
Yeah.
And so, of course, I was like, what is it? She's like, oh, it's the Passion Orange Chihuahua. It is fun. It's better than any real Pog I've ever had.
Thank you. Yeah. Maui Sunset, I think, is outselling everything else today. I see it on a lot of tables, a lot of pictures.
Well, I don't know. It's either that or Pulaski because they look identical to me.
I think we might be drinking the Pulaski.
I've got a Pulaski here and a quarter mile here.
All right.
So tell us a little bit about just because I think if anybody happens to stop by Crow and Wolf, they're going to want to know, what should I order? Like what are some of the standards here that are always on tap? I know Pulaski's a new one, and that's such a beautiful story because it's a real. I think you're paying homage to the city that the brewery is in. But tell us about some of of your go-tos.
Okay, yeah. Well, Pulaski, we'll start with that. We actually got the approval or consent from the city to actually use the official Clovis logo. Anyways, it's great. American lager. We're trying to go for that happy balance of a just easy drinking lager beer. Great.
Nailed it.
That's where you want to start. Lobo is our Mexican-inspired lager. Super popular, actually.
Brewed with a lot of corn, a lot of Vienna.
Yeah, right. Go into the ingredients.
It's real classic, and it's served with lime, which I think is awesome.
Yes.
If you want it,
if you want, yes, not lime included, but Stargazer is our hazy IPA. It is super popular as well. I'd say following up with Lucidity, West Coast IPA,
phenomenal, man.
Yeah, right now Lucidity is all Citra. We use a blend of different Citras because I got 2 contracts going on right now. But and then we also got it's got Citra Dynaboost, Citra Hyperboost, so all the Flowable products from YCH,
all the crazy stuff,
and then we use some of the Sky Farm flavorings from Abstracts as well.
Yeah. Right. Now, one of the things that I know that hey, what's up, Jeff? One of the things that I know that you struggle with is sharing recipes, and we've talked about this, and one of the bigger parts of that is that you're constantly adapting, so it almost feels weird to try to tell somebody, hey, we've got this recipe and here it is and you're going to make it great, because it's not going to be the same. And plus, we have done, Matt, you were actually, all 3 of us were a part of the Brewer's Thumbprint thing that we did for Brülosophy. Not a single one of those tasted the same, and they were identical. So I love your philosophy. It's not that you're trying to hide it like secret. It's that it's not going to work the same for somebody else. So there's little tips and stuff we can share, but it's not going to be the same if we share recipe and process and all of that. Matt, you have something to say.
No, 100%. So you're right. And your listeners are smart enough to know you can give somebody the exact same ingredients, send them home, which we've done this experiment
was
too.
it 6 or 7 of us? Yeah.
The process and equipment, and it's just way too many variables to. I think that says it.
What are your thoughts? I mean, because this is something that you and I've talked about for years before Crow and Wolf.
Yeah.
It was you were just like, I don't. My understanding, and maybe you correct me if I'm wrong, is that there's just a discomfort in kind of sending the wrong. And there's also like trade secrets and all that. Whatever that plays a role in it. And look, I've talked to a lot of brewers, and a lot of them like to pretend that that's not the case. But it is. They're like, there's certain things they won't share. I get that. I think most people do. But oh, look at that guy. Hey,
yo.
Get that mic is hot, dude. You can get on it. Oh God, here comes Paul.
But we do have the staples, the easy button. Sometimes we have to push that.
Do you push the easy button ever, Brad?
What's the easy button?
Yeah, exactly. You do some of the craziest stuff. So when you started homebrewing, though, I want to. The time between you getting the itch to homebrew, or getting the idea at the very least, because you're into double IPA, whatever. From the time that you got that idea to the time that like you met us, and because I feel like as soon as Brad joined the crew, it was like Brad's on the path. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Things went quick.
It went very quick.
Yeah,
he was on a mission.
Yeah, no, I started out just like Matt did, a little bit of Northern Brewer, or more beer, and I think I did like 2 batches of extract beer, maybe a couple of ciders.
The best you ever made, I imagine, right? Those extract beers.
The first one actually I dropped the carboy,
shit.
so I never got to try it, but all my toes were still intact.
That's good.
But it was shortly after that went to all grain, because it was always the next thing I could buy. My life is going to be so much easier, and batches are going to be cheaper if I can buy a mill, or things are going to be easier if I could do this or do that. And so it just kind of became a never-ending hobby, which I guess was good, but because here we are. But from there I went to just working for a local brewery and just, I guess, serving in the back. And from there it quickly moved to washing kegs, kind of doing anything, weighing out grain, then moved into brewing, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So responsibilities grew, the opportunities grew, but yeah, it all started with just kind of like wanting to recreate those beers I had from the breweries I enjoyed.
During our break, you and I were having a beer talking to my wife, and somebody came up and asked about, potential opportunities to work in the brewery.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think, hearing what you're saying now, knowing who you are, but think that there's a part of you that really identifies with that piece of it, really wanting to get into it and not knowing where to go first, and just feeling so fortunate, I would imagine, that you got the opportunities. Because you've worked at how many breweries in Fresno now?
Well, this is the 3rd. So
this is just
2 before this.
Why does it feel like 15 to me?
I don't jump around that much.
I do feel like
this is 3 and I don't know what.
For better or for worse, you've had a massive influence.
14 years.
But let's be honest. For better or for worse, Matt maybe could speak on this one. Is that you've had a massive influence on the scene in the Central Valley, in terms of ideas and the way to approach non-beer adult beverages, if you will.
That's a good way of saying it. So
I won't say it. I'll let other people say it. But I just enjoy what I do.
It's true, man. Here's the funny thing. I'm not guiltless in this. The only reason that our most popular article on Brülosophy.com has to do with gelatin is because Brad came to me and was like, dude, have you tried gelatin? I was like, why would I ever do that? And he's like, just try it. And I did, and it worked beautifully.
Yeah.
The only reason I ever made a cider article is because Brad's like, dude, try this cider I made. He was always the crazy one, right? Would you agree, Matt?
Yes.
Brad was the one who was stepping out of the bound. Maybe it was because he was so new into it and we were old school.
I just have to say, it goes beyond beer, too. Or beer and seltzer.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I'm literally a mac and cheese recipe. He's like, dude.
Sodium citrated.
Yeah.
Changes the mac and cheese.
Like,
that's such a Brad comment. Yeah, here, take this, put that in there.
Yeah.
Agar or whatever. Just do something with it. So I do have a question for you, though, that has to do with your trajectory, your experience, whatever we want to call it, in professional brewing specifically. One, I just want to hear. I want to hear how it's gone for you in general. But what have been some of the biggest struggles? What have been some of the biggest issues that you've had in the industry overall? Think on it.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You're you, bro. You're not going to hurt our feelings.
What was the first part?
Well,
Some
of the biggest issues or struggles that you've had. And don't worry, the next question is, what have you loved the most about it? So, but this is not an easy industry to be a part of, I don't think. It's a fun one, but it's not easy considering especially as the brewer, the pressure is on you to produce a product that all of these hundreds of people want to buy.
I think the biggest struggle is just keeping things consistent. The way I like to brew is, or I should say my mentality is that nothing's ever perfect and things can always be better. It doesn't matter what awards it wins, what people say, something can always be better, and sometimes things get tweaked. There's a lot of our recipes that don't ever get touched, but there's a lot of the recipes where we're just trying to always tweak things a little bit, because if things can be 1% better every batch, eventually that adds up.
Yeah.
And so I do tweak things a lot, but I feel like they're always very small tweaks and they're always in the right direction. And if they're not in the right direction, then I think we're pretty good as a group of identifying those and saying, hey, let's go back to what we were doing before and let's kind of rethink this. But I think that's kind of the mindset you need to have, because if you get complacent and just think your product's the best thing that anybody's ever had, you might be in for a rude awakening one day.
So that leads me, this was not a scripted question. I genuinely have wondered this. I hate the common brewmaster trope of I brew the beer that I want to drink. That doesn't work in this day and age, right?
No. I mean, I enjoy the beers I brew, but I don't brew what I want to drink. I mean, Pulaski is what I'm drinking right now, and I brew that. But
did you want to drink it though?
I did want to drink it. Yeah.
It's so good.
So
I just finished mine.
But yeah, I mean, I remember talking to somebody, and I won't say the spot's name, but when I had asked them about what they would do with something or what they make, he said, people drink what I tell them to drink. And I really disliked that answer.
I hate that answer.
Yeah. So I guess kind of the polar opposite is I'll make what the people want to drink, and sales show that. And
that's your meter for if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
If people are buying it, then we're going in the right direction.
Even if you fucking hate it.
Yeah,
good for you. I think that's the right answer, and I think a lot of brewers feel like it's not trendy enough to use that response, right? But that's really what they're thinking. So they pretend they like everything,
But I really want a French Saison, and we're 5 years in. I just
we've done 2 batches of French Saison.
Seven barrel batches.
Yeah, but they also sit on for like a year.
Well, no, that wasn't French. That was using the Belgian yeast.
No, I've never used Belgian yeast. I won't do that.
Fight it out.
Okay.
Okay.
3711.
Oh, that's why. You got to do a French Saison without French Saison yeast. The glycerol production of that yeast strain is just too much for me. But because of you, Brad, I use it in my cider.
Exactly. Thank you, Laura.
That's so funny. Full circle. I mean, it is. Your ability to influence people without you knowing that you're influencing them, I think, is something else. What have you loved about this being in the industry? I mean, you've been in it for over a decade now, right?
Yeah.
What have you loved about it that maybe you didn't know it wasn't necessarily what was driving you to get into it? Besides free beer and seltzer now.
That's
nice. A pretty great part.
The people you get to meet. It's just a really cool industry. It's very welcoming. The people are very laid back, cool. They're also creative about what they drink, what they make as well.
And they care about it. I feel like that's when you're with somebody who really cares versus somebody who just wants to be in it.
Yeah.
It's a total difference, right? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, the job versus hobby thing.
Do you feel like you've been able to keep it a hobby? This is a question for both of you.
I can't brew at home anymore. I mean, that's for sure.
But that doesn't matter. It's the sentiment, right? Yeah.
So I do still geek out. Like when I get to have fun, like because we talked earlier, like there's different roles I have to wear now.
Yeah.
So it's not always being able to be creative, and I feel so cliche and weird saying like I have to be in the right mindset to create something, but I do, especially with the seltzers. Like to be in that creative flow, I can't be doing the other mundane tasks of ordering and scheduling. Like it's a different just way my brain works, and so. But when I'm in that flow, it is a hobby again, and it's fun, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it all, but I really enjoy that part of it.
There's got to be. I mean, you're lying if you say you love everything every day when you wake up and you come in. I mean, I have to imagine there are days where you're like, "Fuck, I have to brew today," you know. Yeah. I mean, even on a homebrewing scale, starting a business with it, there are days where. Lately now, I'm just stoked to brew because I haven't done it in so long, right? And I just rebuilt my brewery, but. There are absolutely days where I was like, I woke up at 5 o'clock again just to go brew 2 batches of beer.
Yeah.
I imagine here on that scale, you're just like even worse.
Well, it's not bad here. Like things go pretty smoothly. Like things we have here are pretty semi-automated. So we've got a lot of pneumatic valves, and so there's not a lot of running up and down the staircase. Although there is a lot of running up and down the staircase, but not as much as it could be if we had turn manual valves and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I've some of the other breweries I've worked for have been very, very manual, from getting grain out of
a mash tun.
A mash tun that doesn't have a door on it. You got to come out of the top, and you're using a shovel, and so, or washing kegs by hand. With a sub pump and 2x4s. So
you have been through it, my friend. You have been through it. I'll tell you.
So having some of the nice things we have now really make a difference.
Refill. What about you, Matt? You're more on the business side than the brewing side.
Yeah, it's nice, except for maybe I usually deal with the bad comments. The old 1 stars. Because maybe we don't have
enough bathrooms.
No. I think the best one was the food. The beer was great, etc. But the food truck outside that we have nothing to do with didn't have keto options.
Oh my god! And they give you a 1 star for that.
Yeah, but the beer was great.
He also deals with a lot of my, hey Matt, this is broken. We need to fix this.
Yeah, I'm the technical guy around here.
So I've probably ruined a lot of his Mondays. Like, hey Matt, by the way, this tank isn't crashing like it should, or this tank isn't doing this. But
do you actually go in there with like a wrench and shit and fix it? Is that your job? If you can.
I've literally been as hands-on as much as possible. I've tried to lay off lately and bring people in, of course, where it's out of my hands, literally. But yeah, as much as possible.
Damn. I guess that's kind of the benefit of having a whole crew of people in that ownership. I love having a server here, man. This is badass. Cheers to you. All right, so let's shift to actually talking about beer. I've always wondered what, this is a shifting thing for me when people say, what's your favorite style to drink and what's your favorite style to brew? Because to me, I'm like, well, my favorite style to drink changes every year. Yeah. It might be Munich Helles, it might be German Pilsner, it might be Czech Pils,
but they're all lagers.
They're all lagers. It might be Miller Lite. Who knows? American Light Lager. But I still think it's a fun question. So right now, in this little sliver of time that we're in, Brad, what is your favorite style to drink? Even if it's a seltzer, it doesn't have to be a beer, right? Because you make. By the way, we're talking a lot about seltzer. When you come to Crow and Wolf, you will see why we're talking a lot. You guys probably have more seltzers on tap than any brewer I've ever been to 100%, but...
Hold on, are you saying wolf or wolf?
Wolf. Okay. What did I say?
You said wolf.
Yeah. Did I say wolf? That's Laura gets on me for saying kindergarten instead of kindergarten. You guys are pedantic over here.
You say crayons or crowns?
I say crayons.
Crayons?
Crayons.
Like cranberries?
Yes! I'm a crayon guy, okay? I grew up in Fresno.
All right.
And I say kindergarten.
Almonds or almonds?
Almonds. That's a north of Merced thing is almonds, yeah. And you got to be an almond farmer to say it that way. Yeah. Oh God, we're getting way too deep into Central California stuff over here. But what is your favorite style to drink right now? What's your favorite style to brew? Which is a dumb question because I feel like brewing every style feels the same, but maybe it's not.
I'm right there with you. It's like what I added hops or I didn't add hops. I added 1 pound of hops versus I added 11 pounds of hops. 22
so it
pounds
took
of
an
hops,
extra minute and a half. Yeah, exactly.
I would say seltzer brew days because they're quicker. But my favorite style to drink, I don't know. I'm drinking a lot of Pulaski today, but yeah, probably Pulaski if it's going to be a beer, and if it's going to be a seltzer, probably say Lady Marmalade.
Oh, I'm Hello Sunshine all day long.
Yeah.
I love that freaking seltzer, dude. I think I might have mentioned this on a recent episode. We go camping up at Huntington with Tim and the guys and the families, but Tim, Craig, our families, we go up there, and they have a bar at the Lakeshore Resort where we camp. And in that bar, we just happened to be there. I think I texted you guys. We happened to be there during like a Crow and Wolf tap takeover. And we go in, and we're already lit. I mean, we were down on the beach the whole day, doing our thing, swimming, pretending to paddleboard, and drinking the hell out of some drinks. And we go up to the bar on our way back up to the campsite, which, by the way, it is like 100 feet from the campsite. That's the best part of it. And we go in, and they're handing stuff out, and I text all you guys, and, oh, yeah, they have Hello Sunshine up there. So Tim and I were both like, Hello Sunshine. We ended up having 4 apiece because it was so hot out. It is the most. How would you describe? I describe it as a watermelon Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, Hello Sunshine's watermelon lime. So but that watermelon comes through. Yeah,
it is
very
so,
Jolly Rancher-esque.
It's got that Jolly which, if you don't like Jolly Rancher, watermelon flavored Jolly Rancher, don't get Hello Sunshine.
Then it's probably not your thing.
It is so good. Lady Marmalade would be a pink lemonade, right?
It's kind of our spin on a pink lemonade. It's got pink dragon fruit, lemon, and yuzu. So yuzu was just the wild card we wanted to throw in there, but
it works,
kind of made it unique, made it our own. So it's also, I think, won the most awards out of any seltzer we've done. So.
Tell us about some of the awards you guys have won.
So there's not a lot of competitions that do seltzers, or at least that are notable. So the big ones are going to be, at least here in California, are going to be the California Brewers Cup, which last year I believe we won gold and silver. Year before was gold, silver, bronze. Year before that was gold, silver, I think.
All for seltzer.
So last 3 years, 9 awards. I think we've won 7 of them, and then the U.S. Open is the next big one. So the last, I think, 2 years we've placed 3rd in the country, with I think 8 or 9 medals each year.
Amazing.
And then the year before that, I think, which was our first year, I think we came in 5th in the country. So we're pushing for that 1st or 2nd. There are some great breweries up there that are 1st and 2nd. So it's coming up this June. So hopefully we're up there.
Well, you heard it here first. I'm starting the Great American Seltzer Festival here soon. And,
Please do.
Yeah. I just look, your guys' beer. It's so the beer world is even with the downturn, it's still oversaturated, right? Your guys' beers are freaking phenomenal. Up there with some of the best I've ever had, and I'm not just saying that because you're friends of mine. Hi, Tim.
Can I go back to my? I didn't get to answer the question.
We're going to, okay. Matt. I promise you.
Right.
But just to spin off of what Brad was saying is that your seltzer game is something else. My wife has told me, and I imagine this happens with a lot of couples, that the one who doesn't like beer is like, I will go back there. I mean, Laura loves you guys anyways because she knows you.
We love her.
Yeah, we love her. Yeah. We all love her. But there's just something different. I was at work. I work 40 miles north of here, and somebody came up to me and said, hey, I heard that you are friends with the guys from Crow and Wolf. I said, yeah. They were like, that's the only brewery in town I'll go to because their seltzers are so good. Because their seltzers are so good. So kudos to you on that. Matt, tell us a little bit more.
No, to the question of best favorite beer style to brew and drink.
And then to drink.
Yeah, so Flanders would be the brew style. When I was a home brewer.
That's your favorite style to brew or to drink?
Almost both, but no, brew. So I'm
not
just
Ned,
saying
not Ned Flanders. We're talking about Flemish Flanders.
I'm talking about a red Flanders. So
yeah.
I had a program that I did more or less, American bastardized version of it. So I cultured from Almanac, and then I did the traditional Roselaire European style, and I just rotated them. Every 90 days, 3 months, whatever, I'd rotate and try to keep Flanders on, 2 different Flanders on at home. It was great.
Is this the beer you hid in your closet for like 5 years?
No. I know that was Night Juice.
Well, no, there's 2. So yes, I would have just corny kegs filled and sealed and everything and stored. And it was the joke. Yeah, it was like, oh, I forgot about this one in the closet.
Every time we'd come over,
I was like, look what oh shit, let's get this thing cooled down.
Been in there for 5 years or so. I don't even know.
Well, that was the program. I'd oak them in the keg. Anyway, but drinking would be a West Coast Pils. So I think it's kind of the best balance of like the hoppy and lager beer and yeah.
Which you would not. I'm asking Brad this more than you, Matt, but I chime in. Frostbite is not a West Coast Pils. That's a cold IPA, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So how do you? Because Justin or Jordan Folks, Brülosophy is a hardcore West Coast Pils guy.
Yeah.
He gets questions all the time that I retrieve that are like, what the hell is a West Coast Pils? Yeah. So how would you guys define? Because I love it as well. I had one earlier today. You guys have one on tap right now, right?
Yeah.
And what's it called?
Frostbite. Oh wait, sorry.
That's the cold IPA.
Oh
yeah.
Sorry, Setting Sun.
Setting Sun. That's right.
Yeah.
Amazing, by the way.
It's
very
my
Pilsner-esque.
favorite one on tap
It is
right now.
so good. Very Pilsner-esque. Very hoppy.
Yeah. So, I mean, my kind of way to look at the style, which is, I guess, going off of the guy who created it, is we're just kind of looking for something a little bit lighter. It's got some different adjuncts in there to help kind of dry out the beer, make things crisp. So, in the case of our cold IPAs, generally we use rice. We don't go the route of doing the higher bitterness, though.
No.
We like to make it a little bit more approachable for people. So I want to say Setting Sun is probably somewhere around like 30-ish IBUs, 35. So
That's
it's
perfect,
it's
by the
definitely
way, yeah.
more than like Lobo or Mexican Lager. I think has like 16, and Pulaski has like 10 or 12. So it's quite a bit more, but at the same time, we want it to be sessionable. So we kind of take our own little spin there, and then we're just trying to use newer hops. So I believe Setting Sun, we used Peacherine from Freestyle Hops in New Zealand, and then we also use Dolcetta.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like my new favorite hop.
It's amazing.
And we've got 3 different beers on right now with Dolcetta, all in different amounts. So Setting Sun's like 66% Dolcetta, Constellation's 50%, and then our anniversary IPA today that we released is like a third. So we've kind of started at the top, and we've just kind of been bringing it down. But I don't think it's a great hop on its own because it's pretty pungent.
It's pungent.
And almost like
all those kiwi hops are nuts, man.
It's almost like Sabro-esque, where it's like a little bit too much coconut, which I get a little bit of coconut off of it. But and in smaller amounts, I think it's great.
It's
and
great,
I think that, Setting Sun's it's fine at 2/3, but I think it really shines in at like 50% to like 1/4%, or a quarter of your hop, dry hop.
Well, I'll tell you, like Matt, it's phenomenal. What do you love about it, dude? I love it.
Oh, I definitely enjoy Setting Sun. It's the best of both worlds. It's, like,
It's
if
so
I
good.
If I want some aromatics,
But I love
but I want
Frostbite
something
too.
that's gonna be
And I love
easy to
Lucidity.
drink.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I love all of them.
All
but
of the hoppy beers are phenomenal. Yeah, all of them are good. Yeah. Oh my God, this little baby over here has got a ponytail that's so cute. Okay. So final question on beer, and then we're going to move hard into seltzer because there's just some things I know that everyone, at least I, want to know. If you could never brew another style again, but you know that for business you have to brew it, what would it be? Question for both of you, Matt and Brad.
Hold on. What was the question again? Never.
If Crow and Wolf could never, if you had a choice and you were like, I never want to brew this again, whether it's because of mechanical reasons, like it's a pain in the ass to actually brew, physically, or just because you hate the style, whatever reason, if there was a style that you could never have to brew again, but you have to because everybody loves it, what would it be? Or because it sells well?
Say wheat beers, just stuck mashes, like nothing, like I said,
Like
earlier,
any wheat beer, or like Bavarian or American?
I
or-
mean, anything that's like
High
above,
wheat.
30%, we just get stuck mashes here, and so
Yeah.
we have to use a lot of rice hulls, which takes care of the problem, but it's still just opening a bag of rice hulls really sucks. Like, you're over there with a mallet and trying to come open. Luckily, I've got kind of a method that works pretty well to get them open, but I don't really mind brewing like any batches. Like I said,
They all feels the same, right?
they're all pretty much the same. It's like, okay, I threw in a bag of wheat versus I threw in a bag of Pilsner. I threw in 1 pound of hops versus I threw in 22 pounds of hops. Like, it takes the same amount of time. So yeah, I don't mind brewing different styles that much. But yeah, just from the stuck mash or like the potential, because it seems like it always happens when you don't want it to happen. It's like I got plans Friday night, and here I am Friday morning brewing a wheat beer, and next thing you know, I'm
5 hours later,
I'm canceling plans or adjusting them. So if I didn't have to brew
Still
that,
schedule brew days for Friday, Brad. That's a dumb idea.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, side note, I thought I was really smart. I had like extra wheat and I wanted to make a starter or whatever. So I tried to like the stovetop starter. I was like, I'll mash on the stove.
Oh, home brewing stuff?
Yeah, home brewing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you got some extra weed, whatever. Yeah, mash comes out. It literally like gelatin. And I was like, okay, well, this didn't really work out. Anyways, so beer. I would say the Wee Heavy. So, not that I'm brewing.
It sells well, though, huh? No, it doesn't.
The first one we did, we brewed, I believe, 20 hours-ish.
Yeah, we did a...
Oh, did you do the boil thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are nuts.
Exactly. Get the 20, old Maillard.
25 barrels is, I think, what we shot to the boil kettle, and we boiled it down to 7 or 8 barrels.
Oh, my. That's like a 60% loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just boiled and boiled
Jeez.
and boiled. And it was...
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah. You would never do that again. Just may never do that again. So let me ask you this then, because I think it's more interesting. What's a style you guys both just hate? Maybe there's none, but if like your least favorite style. I know mine. I'll say it out loud.
I'm not too big on the hazy IPAs.
Okay.
I'll put it out there.
A lot of commercial brewers are in the same boat.
I don't feel like the balance is there for like style guidelines. Like it's like food without salt. Like beer without bitterness. Like
That's what it feels like.
It needs to be balanced, and so
such a good analogy. God.
So yeah, I think if the balance is there, there's room for it to be great. Like I think the ideas are great. Like you're looking for something fruity, juice-like. Like you want it to be hazy, but not hazy from like all the yeast, so it doesn't mess with your stomach. But I think there's a way to do it good, and there's a way that some people are used to where it feels unbalanced. And so trying to find that balance of what the market wants, but also what in my head is balanced is kind of the goal. So
Rogan beer.
Oh God, that's what I was gonna say.
Really?
Not Rogan beer. I'm sorry, I was gonna say Rauch beer.
Oh well,
but Rogan beer is a close second, just because it tastes like you're drinking snot.
Yeah.
Have you ever made one?
No.
Either have
I didn't. And honestly, the last style that I ever got into, besides that, was Belgians. It took me the longest time to like Belgian beer. And
interesting.
I mean, when I say longest, meaning like, I don't know, 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rogan beer is one of the weirdest beers that I ever had. Somebody sent me one actually, and I had heard friends of mine in the homebrewing scene had made them and were like, this, it's like swallowing snot, you know?
Yeah. And
then this guy sent me, and it was a Rogan beer that was made with like 80% rye malt.
Yeah, oh shit.
Yeah, and it was exactly what you're expecting. I pouring it out, it was like, glug, glug. It was so gross. But I have to go, look, Rauch beer is like, if you serve me a beer that, I got a little side note to this, Matt. If you serve me a beer that's made with more than like 25% smoked malt, chances are I'll finish my little sample and I'll never ask for more again. But I'll never forget being at your house and one of the dumbass beers that you pulled out of your closet was the Perfect Porter or whatever.
Yep.
And it is that an inspiration for your guys' porter here? Because that little 1% of peat malt, oh my God,
so,
it just adds umami.
So, backstory, that was the beer that got me into craft beer.
Oh.
When I was home in Yakima, probably 22 years old, I don't know, barely drinking age, went to the local, basically went to Burt Grant's pub in Yakima with my brother and his buddies or whatever, and I have that on tap, and I'm like, oh, this is magical liquid.
It's so good.
So Perfect Porter, and you have to be like super, like, whatever's into yourself or whatever to call it the freaking Perfect Porter, but he did, and it was fucking fantastic.
Well, yeah, that's not your name. That was Burt Grant's name.
Yes,
yeah. So he gave you the recipe. Is that what it was?
I tracked down one of the brewers and tried to get as much detail as I possibly could to make it. And I tried probably 10 or 12 times.
but it is as close to perfect as any porter I've ever had.
Yes.
It is, and so Brad, when you make what's the like the house porter here? I forget what it's called. Smokehouse.
Yeah.
Smokehouse.
So we have Smokehouse and we have Monument, which have both been around for porters.
Yeah.
So Smokehouse is built off of Matt's recipe.
I love that, by the way. It's just so cool, man.
It's fantastic.
It's so good.
And then we also have Monument, which is like a peanut butter porter. So we do a little bit of everything. So your traditional porter, we do flavored stuff. So
how many taps do you have on here? Everything.
27.
27? Okay.
27 taps, people. If you're cruising through Fresno Clovis, you gotta take the 15-minute detour to come stop off at Crow and Wolf. They have 27 taps. How many are seltzers? How many are beer? On average.
I think right now we have 6 seltzers, 8, something like that.
They're
6 or 8.
There's bonus in there because today we have a slushy, for example, and our wine is on a different cabinet as well.
Okay, talk about the wine a little bit.
Well, Brad already mentioned the mead,
the Rapture,
which is but we also do wine that we bring in, but we have our wine license, so but we have a Chardonnay, a bold like cab, and then more like a sweet. I'm actually not a huge wine guy, so
like a Merlot type of deal, right?
Yeah.
It's a sweet red, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing: the wines are excellent. I've had them. I don't know if you're making them or not. Doesn't matter, but they're here. The making of, I got one too, buddy. Come on, Adam. Our server just came up, beer wench. But the wines are good. But the seltzers, you've got a slushy machine, and right now it is I keep calling it Pog because that's where my brain goes, but it's called Hawaiian
Maui Sunset.
Maui Sunset, yeah.
Yep.
Somebody brought one of those to me while I was setting this up. It's hot as hell out here today. It's a weird. Hey, first day of summer, by the way, guys. It's the 21st when we're recording
it's
this.
It's like, 95 today?
And it got up to 80. It only got up to 89. No. Yesterday was 93.
First day of spring.
First day of spring. Oh, my God, you're right.
Yes.
Who's had a few drinks out here? Yeah. No, you're not kidding. And but that Maui Sunshine in slushy form is better than a Slurpee.
Yeah.
Worst ice headache. What do they call that? Brain freeze.
Brain freeze. Yeah.
Worst brain freeze I've had in years because I haven't had a freaking Slurpee in years. But
to answer your question, I think of the 27, I think there are 7 seltzers.
I don't know. We got options, and it's rotating week to week.
Yeah.
We've got some new seltzers coming out in the next couple months, and we might have beers that we re-release or might drop down in beers. So it's always all over the place. But I'd say normally it's probably about 1/3, 2/3, 1/3 seltzers, 2/3 beer.
Who knows how long that's going to last? It might be like half and half soon, right?
Hey, that's fine too.
Who cares? Yeah. Because they're so good.
The customers will tell us what
that's
they
right.
want, so.
I love that mentality. Also, what is your most popular seltzer?
Dark Wolf.
Without a doubt. Tell us about the origins of Dark Wolf and the name.
Yeah, so it was originally called Katy Berry. Did you say wolf again?
Wolf! I said wolf! I did not say wolf. Did I say wolf? I might have said wolf.
Yeah, so it was originally called Katy Berry. It's a boysenberry.
Katy Berry.
Boysenberry vanilla seltzer. But yeah, here we are, Dark Wolf, and it's our I think our number one product here. Everybody likes it.
That is your number one product out of everything.
Yeah.
At a brewery.
Yes.
In Clovis, California.
Correct.
Not New Mexico. Clovis, California.
Yeah, on an ounce basis, most ounces.
We're out here right now. I see one right there. I see one right there. They are everywhere. People love this seltzer. It does not look like a seltzer. It's the way I was able to tell it apart from other drinks is that it's very dark. There's a reason for that, though, right? You're using real fruit. It's not that you're using flavorings. You're not using essences.
No. Yeah, it's real fruit. And we use a lot of it. So there's.
They're not cheap to make, but they're cheap to buy relative to beer.
Correct.
I mean, they're the same price as beer, right?
Per pint, yes.
Per pint. That's what I mean. Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
No clue what that is. Oh, is that cobblestone? It's a sour, isn't it?
Setting sun, please.
I think it's Pog or whatever, Hawaiian whatever sunset. Try it. Tell me if I'm right. Am I right? Sun. Yeah. It's so good. My God. And it looks like a beer.
It looks like a beer. Your friends won't know.
Look, I think all three of us, I love that, Don and Adam. Adam is now our beer wench, which is great. Don and Mike are gone. And just the three of us are up here working, if you will. We do want to get with them here soon enough, so we're going to wrap this up in a minute. Just a couple more questions. What do you two view as being the future of Kronwolf? Like, where do you see Kronwolf being in another 5 years? Because I think we all commented on this in the last segment, that where we're at today, where Kronwolf is at today, where we're sitting right now, is not what any of us imagined it to be, and in a good way. Like, in a weird way, it's become bigger and better than anybody ever thought, right? And I think most people who are sitting out here today would agree with that. Where do you see it being in 10 years, and how wrong are we going to be?
So another 5 in 10, like 10 total?
Yeah, 10 years total, another 5.
Can I just say bigger and just leave it at that?
That works. You asked me that mid-drink, so I almost choked, by the way.
I'll just say wherever the market goes. I think we're prepared and ready for whatever shift there might be or whatever shift there isn't. Do
you ever get pushback? So that mentality, I feel like, is very not craft beer. Because the whole craft beer thing is like, oh, the cool thing is to say that I brew the beer I want to drink. I don't care. Do you ever get pushback from, like, industry friends?
No.
Not overtly, at least.
I don't. Yeah.
If they do, it's behind your back type of thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get out much, so maybe I do, but I don't hear about it. But I don't know. I mean, that's kind of mentality. Is we're a business and we're here to stay open. And
you have a question?
We'll give the people what they want. If they want more seltzers, it's more seltzers. If they move and hey, we want meads, then we'll make meads.
What about cider?
And if they want cider, we'll do cider. If they want NAs, we'll figure it out. So
and we're fine. We got plenty of taps. We can have one lager tap that we just have for us.
If they want side pull Hellas's, we'll do side pull Hellas's.
I want side pull Hellas's.
But people
do I matter?
But
I want follow Bierstadt. How much do you love Bierstadt, by the way? Isn't Ashley one of the best brewers on earth?
Oh my God, that stuff is good.
I do love some Coors Banquet.
Yeah, so Coors is Miller Coors is Brad's fave.
I do love Miller Lite too.
Yeah, I'll take Miller Lite over Banquet all day long.
If I'm not drinking here, I mean that's probably what it's going to be.
No, what was the German brewery in Minneapolis that we went to?
I know what you're talking about. It's
they were on a 50 barrel system. We were there for the CBC, and it was the only place we went to twice, and there was a reason for that. As far as you talk about lagers,
so good. What about Chuckanut?
Chuckanut's fantastic.
Yes.
Out of 10 out of 10.
Yep.
Oh, Freem.
10 out of 10. Wayfinder, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. There's a lot of lager breweries.
And they're all so good.
We don't get their beer here in Fresno a lot.
No.
So
ever, actually.
Oh, Fremont.
Fremont's great.
Yeah. I probably would have named them at some of my top breweries, but we just don't get distribution here. So,
yeah, it sucks.
Like I said, if I'm not drinking our own beer here, or I'm drinking beer at all, it's going to be probably Coors
Banquet, Miller Lite.
Yeah.
People have asked me, they're like, why do you talk about Kronwolf so much? I'm like, because it takes me 2 minutes to drive there.
You only moved closer to us in the last couple years.
That's the only reason we moved, Brad.
Yeah.
was to be closer to you guys. I actually think of all of the friend group, I'm closest to here than anybody else. Yeah.
You are.
You've got me beat by like a mile or two.
Barely a mile. And you guys just bought a place.
We just bought a place.
I know. God. But, okay, so, look, if you're driving through this area, if you're going through 41, 168, even 99 in California, pull off, take the 15 to 20 minutes it takes you to get over here, have a few beers. You will see why this place gets the recognition that it does. It's phenomenal. It's got something for everybody. There's always at least 2 food trucks here, right?
Slower Days is just one.
Well, yeah,
Monday,
like the most of
Tuesday.
the time when people are going to come by,
Yeah.
though, it's
Yeah.
right now there's like 15 because of the event that we're doing.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
But it's just an amazing place. And again, we talked about this in the last segment with Mike and Don. I don't know what makes a destination brewery other than hype. But if we can hype anything, I hope we hype this, because this place is worth it. And everybody that I've heard from who's heard about the show on Brülosophy, and they come here, they email me and they're like, dude, better than you made it sound.
Yep.
I'm like, yes, Brad's a nerd, man. You got to understand, you do crazy shit, Brad, and we love you for it. We love you for more than just that.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
But you guys know how much I love you, and that would be even if you weren't making some of the best beers and seltzers. Thank you so much for having me out here on your fifth birthday. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, if you want to follow us, our handles at all the socials are CAW, like CAW Brewing, and that's it.
I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you so much again for having me out here today, and I look forward to seeing where you're going to be in another 5 years. Cheers. The Brülosophy podcast is made possible by the generous support of our sponsors, as well as all of our rad listeners. We seriously could not do this without you. Cheers to everyone who has subscribed and left a review of our show. It makes a huge difference. If you haven't yet, please consider doing so. Head over to brülosophy.com/support to view a list of ways you can easily help us to continue producing this podcast. If you want a reward for your support, visit patreon.com/brülosophy. Thanks again for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Brülosophy podcast. Until then, think beer.
Start off the morning with some hot tea, lemon and honey, cause it suits my throat. Put some herb in the bowl, yeah, it's homegrown. Ain't gotta go through the middleman no more. Life is good, the likelihood of me.
Ever notice how ads always pop up at the worst moments? When the killer's identity is about to be revealed. During that perfect meditation flow. On Amazon Music, we believe in keeping you in the moment. That's why we've got millions of ad-free podcast episodes, so you can stay completely immersed in every story, every reveal, every breath. Download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite podcasts ad-free, included with Prime.